Hey everybody! In today's video, which is very quick, I'm just going to show you some ghost stamped birds. These are from the February My Monthly Hero kit, and they are so fun. They have solid silhouette images, and there are 10 birds, and I have them all set up on my MISTI. And they also have a little grunge element around the outside of each bird. But I haven't done ghost stamping in a while, and since these were such great solid images, I thought this would be a fun way to treat these little birdies. So I used the ThermoWeb Mini Dot Runner to temporarily tack a piece of crumb cake cardstock down onto the grid paper in my MISTI. And you can see I have it down from the top about 1/16 of an inch. And that's because I want the white ink to show up sort of as a highlight on the tops of the birds. So when I move it up and overstamp it, the darker part will be down just a little bit, like you would normally have highlights and lowlights. Now I am drying this with my heat gun. It does need to be completely dry before you put dye ink over it. And be careful not to heat your magnets if you're heating over your MISTI. Rare earth magnets are already brittle, but they can become even more brittle with heat. So I'm cleaning my birds off with my absorber. If you're using pigment ink with your absorber, you will need to clean it a little bit more often. That can transfer. The absorber sort of absorbs dye ink and doesn't transfer it from one to another unless it's really dirty. But that pigment ink, you do need to go ahead and get that off of there. So go rinse that out. Now my birds are clean. And now I will put the cardstock up against the top ruler of the MISTI. And you can see I've customized my MISTI with the turquoise tapes that she offers. I love those. And you can see I had the magnet a little bit too close to that bottom bird, and so he's missing his tail. But it doesn't matter because when I overstamp it with the dye ink, you're not going to notice that anyway. And I'm going to load it up with magnets here. I'm using the Hero Arts Bold Ink in Indigo, which is my favorite blue. I love it. I used it on another video recently. And you can see what it looks like just on plain white cardstock. It's a very crisp ink in a really pretty ultramarine blue. And you can see I'm opening that lid really slowly, and that's just to make sure that my cardstock's in place since I'm not using the corner of the MISTI. And you can see the little texture that you get when you put a dye ink on top of a pigment ink, almost like that dendritic printing video that I showed you. And I think that adds a lot. Thanks so much for watching.